Okay, step one. I went ahead and put newspaper in the bottom, and I went ahead and actually, pushed it down fairly deep inside the where the harvest panel is, because I kind of want that area to fill in again, for I can kind of see how the bag forms out when it's full. And again, when you're really working on this, it works pretty slick. You can just wrap both lids over the top here. It keeps everything out of the way. So there's only about 3 sheets of newspaper there, but that's going to be the start of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, grab a couple of those minis, and I'm going to pull out the worms off the top 12 inches or so, put them all in a tub, and then I'm going to dump the bottoms of all these minis in here. I won't bore you with all the stuff, so I'll show you after I get the contents of the bottom of the minis in here, and I'll see if I can bring it up maybe, I don't know, hopefully it'll come up about 10 inches or so, but that's a pretty big area compared to the mini, so we'll see. Okay, so I've emptied the contents of 2 Vermi minis. One of them wasn't too full, the other one was fairly full. Vermi bucket that was completely full, so that's 5 gallons right there. And then a bunch of castings that I had setting aside that had a lot of worms in it still, so I threw that in. And then also I had another container that had a whole bunch of worms I was going to give to somebody, but I threw them in there right now too. So let's take a look, and there's quite a bit of material in here. It brought it up past the, let's see, it's up to right about here, so it's up about 6 inches, I suppose, from the bottom. But the bag's filling out. I can definitely tell it's heavier. I mean, there's quite a bit of material in here right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do a really heavy feeding on this side right here, and get this thing going and see how it goes. Okay, I have some scraps that a friend gave from a juicer. It's been frozen too, so I'm going to throw it in first. Oh, maybe this isn't the stuff out of the juicer. This is just other frozen stuff that he gave me. Looks like a bunch of carrot peelings, cucumber peelings, banana peelings, of course some wet napkins. I try and break those apart normally and just lay them out flat. The worms seem to do better with them that way. Okay, I also have a bunch of frozen stuff that I had. Scraps we had, things that went bad, so I'm going to throw those in there too. There's a bunch of asparagus and some beans. Put all the beans in. A cucumber. Break it up a little bit. Other goodies do I have down here? Maybe another banana peel and just some brown paper sack. Okay, that's a pretty hefty feeding. I mean, there's several pounds of food there for sure. Now I'm going to grab some of my bedding and throw my bedding on top of it, mix it in a little bit. And here's the bedding that everybody knows this stuff by now, but this has been sitting probably outside for less than a month. This hasn't actually been that long, but I've turned it several times, and the bucket's upside down, and it's real damp. It's about perfect, actually, about the perfect consistency for a worm bin. So it's not going to absorb too much material, but that isn't what I want it to do, because I have a bunch of shredded paper on top of this anyway. So I'm just going to dump that on there. Then I'm going to, as always, I kind of mix it in a little bit to the vegetable scraps, the feeding, whatever it is, as they seem to like it better that way. And these napkins I have, I think I'm just going to throw on top. Your napkins will definitely disintegrate a lot faster if you kind of try and lay them out flat. Paper towels, napkins, whatever. I get an awful lot of these. I actually get some brown ones from work that are brown paper hand wipes, and I use those a lot too. They're probably better than the white ones. So that's it. I'm going to leave it just like that for right now. put the lid on it, button it up tight here. Be really curious to see how the moisture is controlled in this bin compared to the Max and the Mini. Be that this is not breathable. Again, like I said, I mean the zippers, there's a lot of zipper area in this thing. Like I said, like 12 feet. So there's a lot of air that gets through this zipper that comes down in. So there'll be plenty of oxygen in there. It's just, I know there's going to be some if the bins run a little bit wet, there'll probably be some condensation on the top of the bin, or the lid, but that's really no issue. We'll watch it, we'll see. See how it goes. But again, this is super tough. I mean, nice with this, if you drop something, a hammer, whatever you drop on there, it's not going to damage it. So day one of testing of the VermiBag Mammoth. Okay, let's take a look at this Mammoth now. It's been 2 days. The first twice I came down here, once in the morning and then once in the late afternoon when I got home, and I did have a lot of worms hanging out along the side. I kind of think, you know, it's a totally different environment for these things. It's a combining of 3 bins to get it in here, because I actually ended up adding another VermiBag Mini, the top contents of it in here. So I mean, there's 3 VermiBag Minis in here, the Vermi bucket, and a bunch of other stuff. So a lot of different folks have got to get along. So it's kind of expected that they're going to be a little bit affected by the new environment. So let's take a look today. Yeah, there's a few worms hanging out, but not too bad today. There's definitely some moisture here on this lid, which is something new for me. I'm not used to. So to open up the other half here. Yeah. Not terrible. So, I mean, overall, it looks like it's doing pretty good. It's definitely holding moisture a lot more than the VermiBag Max and the Mini with the mesh top. So, we'll keep an eye on it over the next week or two and see how it goes. Hey everyone, here's the new ventilation window that I'm putting on the top of the VermiBag Mammoth. It has the logo and everything on it. It looks pretty nice, I think. So this is the second prototype. So I went ahead and started making it just to, it's again the top and the very top section of the lid are pretty much set in stone. I mean, I like how they're going. So the only thing I did is I added this access panel for ventilation. And basically it has, that is the same mesh material right there that I have on all the other VermiBags. So if you want to dry it out a little bit, just open that up and you got a almost 6x6 area that probably a ton of ventilation for the thing. Close it up and it looks real nice. So I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks real good. Okay, I went ahead and cut out a ventilation window on this Vermi Mammoth just to try it out, because I don't want to have to wait until I have another prototype. I definitely want to test this out. If I want to seal it up, I could and test the bag with it completely sealed, or I can try it open. Right now I think I need more airflow in there right now, but I'm not certain. It just seems like a lot of worms. I normally don't have that issue, but so I cut it out, and I did have that lid I showed before. It's off center and stuff, but it's fine for this bag. And I'm going to go ahead and come back and I'll hand stitch around this thing just to get it in there, for it doesn't, make sure it doesn't come off, and then stitch across the top. You know, actually that's pretty good, but I'm just going to sit like that. I mean, the weight of the, it'll either flip open or flip down. I was going to put Velcro to hold this tight, but I really don't need to. For the most part, just the weight of it will, you know, block 90% of the air, 80% of the air from coming in. So, okay folks, I redid the label again. I kind of like this a lot better. I think this is what I'm going to end up doing on all the Mammoths. I'm going to go ahead and 2 ventilation panels on the bag. So I'm going to put one on this side, and then I'm going to go ahead and put one on the other side. Now the Mammoth 2, the second one that I'm working on, I went ahead and already put the ventilation panel in the center, so it's going to have to stay that way because I can't replace it now at this point. But the third bag I make, which will hopefully be a sellable bag, it will have a ventilation panel on this side, and it'll have a ventilation panel on this side. So I haven't stitched this on yet, but again, it's just going to be stitched along the top here, and you can either open it or close it, and that's the same mesh material that again that I have on all the other bags. So let's take a look at this. This is the morning of the 4th day, so it's been 3 full days. The worm seems to be settling down a little bit better in here, but let's open it up and see what it looks like this morning. Yeah, there's not nearly as many worms around the bag now. Looking pretty good. They're starting to settle down in here. I mean, as I pull it up, yeah, I mean, you can look at the amount of worms underneath here now. This is where I did that really big feeding. But yeah, they're starting to look pretty comfortable in here. Now I did, yesterday I put a big feeding actually on the other side too, so I'll open it up and take a look at that. Okay, here on the other side, there's a big guy. I mean, look at the size of this guy. I mean, you go from here all the way down to over there. There's definitely a mixture of African night crawlers and a little of everything, red wigglers and European night crawlers in here. Now I did a very large feeding right here. Actually, it was just yesterday, so I don't know if they've moved into it at all. There you can start to see the material. There's actually worms are, oh yeah, they're definitely moving into it right away. So it was a bunch of mainly fruit again for the most, well, not completely, but there were some oranges and some cantaloupe and then some broccoli, a couple other things, but I chopped it all up, froze it for one day, and just threw it in there. So folks, that's it. Now it's just going to be monitoring this thing. I'm going to start working on the Mammoth 2 and see how that second prototype goes. I've definitely learned a lot from this one, and I'm pretty excited. The access panel and the liner are much better. I've kind of figured out what the issues were on that. And that liner's critical. I keep saying that, but that is what protects that zipper. That's what takes the weight off the zipper. I mean, that's what's going to make it when you go to harvest these things, you can unzip that thing with one hand. The zipper should be almost always, you know, free of material, unless you dump something on it when you're harvesting. But it's a key feature of the VermiBags is the inner liner up there. It's what makes that whole system function the way it does. So it's critical for me to get it right for it functions the way it's designed to function. Well, that's it for right now, folks. I'll keep updating the progress of this Mammoth, and today I'm going to go ahead and build a stand for it. I'll do a video on that, and I'll get the Mammoth 2 up and running pretty soon, so we'll have 2 systems running. Only issue on Mammoth 2 is I'm going to have to take the contents of a couple Maxes and put in there because I don't have enough material. So, this is Tom from VermiBag. Till next time, ciao.